Drums have always been the thing I've struggled with the most. How do you make them dry without losing life? Natural, but still controlled. I tried so many drum packs until I realized most of them did not sound like me. So I decided to record my own and show you how I make them come alive. Hey! Hi, I'm Rindue. Welcome to a new video. So the question that I get asked most is how I get my drums. And I think that's a really interesting question. So it's a combination of finding my own sounds and sometimes using samples from other creators. A pack that I really love is the J. Creed Vintage Dry Drums. It has an amazing sound and you can do a lot of great things with that. And that inspired me to make my own samples and use them in my songs. So today I recorded a lot of samples from kicks, snares, hi-hats, claps, and all that kind of things. And I wanted to take you with me into the processing of the sounds, how you can make drum grooves with it, and create something cool with this. All of my own drum sounds that I create today, I'm going to put them in my own drum pack, my first ever drum pack that you can buy with the link in my description. It really supports the channel and helps me grow and make more videos like this. So let's process these samples. So the samples that I've recorded are all on this project. I have a kick, a snare top and a bottom, then I have a hi-hat, and I have a crash ride tom small and the floor tom. So now I'm going to select the best samples and align them all in one order. Then I'm going to tell you my biggest secret that I use for the drums. So I made a selection of the best samples that I've recorded. I put them all on one track. And now I'm going to head over to the secret sauce. So I'm at the other side of the studio right now. And I have the Tascam M35 mixer here. It's an analog 8-channel mixer. And I love routing my own samples through this mixer because it gives it a really analog feel. I'm not always using this mixer because I don't always have the time, because I have to plug it in and it takes a lot of time to set up. But when I'm creating my own sounds, I love to route these sounds through this mixer. Just peaking the levels a bit into the red on this mixer gives it a really analog, cool sound. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I have all the samples on one channel. I'm going to route them through this one and then back into my computer. And then I can program them into drums. Okay, now that we have our samples, we can finally create some drums. We have the track with all the Tascam recording right here. And now I'm going to make a drum groove out of this, and we're gonna add some more compression and room and something like that. So first we start off with the kick. Okay, I'm feeling the vibe of the BPM 80, so pretty slow. With some cool ghost notes in between. I think that's a cool tempo. Then we have the hi-hats. So this is the basic drum groove. Nothing on it, just the Tascam. So I'm going to group it now, and then we're going to add some EQs. So for the kick, I just want the lows. So I'm going to cut out the highs. For the hi-hat, I just want the highs, but not too harsh, so I'm cutting a bit out. And then for the snare, cutting a bit of the lows to make room for the kick. I'm going to cut out a bit of the highs, and then I think around here a bit. So the punch is right there. Then I'm going to add the compressor. On the snare, I use the tube compressor from UAD to make it punch a bit more. And now I'm going to add a bit of ghost notes to make it sound a bit more human. So what I do then is I just pick a really soft snare, something like that, to paste that in. And I'm going to make it a bit of a 16th feel. On the 16th after the snare or just before the kick, we can add a ghost note. So I think the snare is a bit too high. We can cut out a bit more highs. Okay, and then we can add a roll to the snare ghost. So we have to find a roll, I think a double. So what I did there is I warped the sample. I made a roll on but it was not on the right tempo, so I made it a bit faster. So we can use that. I usually do it before the kick, so something like this. And maybe right there. Okay, cool. Then we can add a tom, like that. And then what we can do is a parallel compressor to give the bit more depth. I use the tube compressor for that, and I'm going to put it on the bus, and then I'm going to put the bus open on the full drum track, so without. It makes it a lot more wider and more compressed, so I love that. So this is how I get my drums. So what we can do now is add some instruments and see how we can adjust the drums on the instruments and make them sound even better. So let's use the Imageio piano for this one and do something like this. So what we can do now is, on the accents that I use on the piano, we already have the kick right there, but we can add a cymbal to it. So maybe a ride, a soft one. So right there. So the ghost note is a bit too fast now. We can add an open hi-hat to it. Open hat will be right here. So I have the really dry drum sample sounds. I put them to my test cam to make it a bit more warmer. You can also add a warm compressor on it or the tape recorder from UAD. And then I arrange them into something that I like and put some more compression on it and EQ them a bit so I get not a lot of highs but a bit more mids, because I like them a bit muffled, the drums. What I do then is I play the piano or other chord instruments and see if I can adjust the drums to some accents in the piano or the other instruments. And after that, just make sure that it's not an 8-bar loop that just keeps on going, but make adjustments, add some cool fills with some toms or an open hi-hat. The ghost notes, I think these are the cool elements that I love to use, and they really work in this style of music. So all these samples that you heard today are available in my pack, and a lot more of these samples. If you would like the drum sound, if you would like to support my channel, please buy the drum pack. It really helps out a lot. For now, if you have any questions, please let them know in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I love to see you the next time. Bye bye.